Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nabila binti Taj'i. So me and my group are going to present our group work in the code subject of IMU 602 entitled Naqlu Tawarruq Vehicle Financing at Bank Rakyat. Alright, so I'm going to begin with the introduction. Bank Rakyat is one of Malaysia's Islamic financial institution which has implemented various contracts that follow Islamic principles based on the Quran and Sunnah, which is to make it easier for consumers to use. So, Naqlu Tawarruq Vehicle Financing is a specific platform established by Bank Rakyat to handle Tawarruq contracts in their own vehicle financing. It is actually a flexible plan that may be applied to both Muslim and non-Muslim consumers while adhering to Sharia standards. Hence, they play an important role in achieving their main goal. Alright, so I'm going to move to what is the bank mission. Firstly, the bank's mission as a financial institution is to provide deposit acceptance services to customer and the general public. Next, banks also provide loans and finance to consumers and individuals that are in need. So this is where bank plays an important role and part in the country's economic development. Like someone like individuals or enterprises or even organizations and states can borrow from banks. Alright, next, loans or finance should be obtained either from the company's startup capital or through consumer deposit. For example, when bank provide lending and financing facilities through overdraft. So what is overdraft? Overdraft is actually like a loan facility provided to current account holders to finance revolving capital and short-term transaction. So this feature allows the creditor to withdraw an amount greater than his current account credit balance up to the accepted limit. So next, I'm going to move to Tawarruq. Since our main topic is relating to Tawarruq, I'm going to explain briefly the actual meaning of it. So Tawarruq is technically the purchasing of a commodity on credit by the mutawarrik or seeker of cash, and then they sell it to a person other than the initial seller or third party for a lower price on cash. Hence, Tawarruq is a contract of sale in which the buyer purchases an item from the seller with a deferred payment and then sells the asset to a third party in cash at a lesser price. It is the most popular commodity in the Islamic banking and finance sector. However, we will explain further in detail the study that has been conducted on Tawarruq Vehicle Financing at Bank Rakyat, including the modus operandi performed and also the benefits of it. Alright, that's all for me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nabila binti Shahbuddin, metric number 2019230402. Okay, I will continue about the modus operandi by Tawarruq based on the vehicle financing at Bank Rakyat. So, Bank Rakyat vehicle financing offers a flexible and affordable installment scheme when purchasing a national or imported car available in the market. So, this financing is under the Sharia principles of Murabaha, which is by adopting Tawarruq practices. Were based on promise from the customer, the bank will purchase the commodity from a commodity trader and then sells the commodity to the customer based on the Murabah sales price, which is cost of commodities with profit. On deferred payment basis, the bank then, as the customer agent, will sell the commodity to a third-party buyer on cash. The cash collected from third-party buyer will be deposited into dealer's account. So, the commodities bank use are the commodities permissible by Syariah available in Bursa Suk Asila. And then, the mechanism whereby someone who needs cash money buys merchandise from a seller, normally at a markup price with a deferred payment, then sell it to the market or someone else other than the seller at a lower price for cash without any connection or agreement between the first seller and the second buyer. So, modus operandi exists in the spirit of preventing the prohibited riba by engaging in a sale contract rather than an interest product code. So, the process of Tawarruq is shown in the next slides. So, the modus operandi by Tawarruq based on the vehicle financing at Bank Rakyat. So, first is customers want to make personal finance on the Tawarruq or Murabahah products contract. And then banks buy product from broker A in cash. After that, the bank sells the same product to the buyer for delayed payment at the cost plus price. The bank as an agent sells the good to the broker B in cash. Then, the bank's cash is billed to the client. So at the last one, the client owes the bank at the expenses of adding funds to the installments. For example, a customer wants to make a personal loan of 40,000 from Bank Rakyat. So at the initial point, the client will apply for the financing of the vehicle from Bank Rakyat, and the bank will purchase an item or product worth 40,000 from any firm or broker that perform its business in compliance with Islamic Sharia law. Then the bank will deliver the goods to the customer in contract murabahah, which is cost price and profit rate of 5.1%. So the sales price of this item shall be paid by the buyer to the bank, which has been postponed for 3 years. So, using the new deal, the buyer will nominate the bank as an agent to sell the items that he has ordered. Usually, the bank will bill 20 ringgit for customer for the service offered as a sales agent. So, as a representative, the bank will sell the goods to any company operating based on Islamic Sharia that want the goods. So, the proceeds from the selling of the bank will be added to the customer's account. So, at the final stage of this deal, the buyer will pay the price of the goods. The buyer will pay the price of the goods he purchased cheaply to Bank Rakyat in the first stage in a deferred manner. So, in this agreement, it is provided that all the terms of the selling and purchase deal, namely the seller, the customer, the product, and the price, follow the term of sales and purchase. Although the nature of this loan is known to the customer and the bank that the purpose of the sales and follow the term of sales and purchases. So this contract supplies of finance to this consumer is seems to be able to satisfy the needs of customer who need funds to satisfy their wishes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ashikin binti Cik Mat, matric number 2019294694. Okay, I will continue for the next topic, which is benefits of the products. First benefits of the products is Sharia compliance. As we know, the important thing in muamalah is muamalah in accordance with Sharia. For example, to stay away from usury elements. Therefore, developments in the sale and purchase business have also changed but still comply with Sharia rules in line with technological advance. Thus, various contracts were born in the sale and purchase, for example, Tawarruq. As you can see, Tawarruq is the second benefit of the product. Bank Rakyat offers Tawarruq as a vehicle financing contract to the customer. Tawarruq is a contract that goes through two buying and selling process that use two different contracts, which is Murabahah and Wakalah. A contract where the banks puts a small amount of profit in the price sold to the customer, there is murabaha. Wakalah is representative contract. The customer appoints the bank as a representative to administer their property. Tawarruq also a contract that requires the agreement of profit from both parties. This is because the profit rate charged should be based on the customer's ability to repay the loan. Also, the profit rate set according to the seller's effort. This creates a win-win situation for both parties. At the same time, the customers can withdraw before the agreement is agreed if the set profit rate does not meet the customer's requirement. The third benefit is selling price, which is a price that has been agreed and stated by the bank in the contract is fixed and known. Four is no hidden and extra charge imposed. This is one of the important things in line of Sharia compliance, because if a hidden and extra charge imposed, it will raise doubts and distrust by the customer to the bank institution. Number 5 is IBRO on full settlement of the financing before its maturity. IBRO is rebate, which is the bank will provide IBRO or rebate to customers who repay the debt earlier than the period agreed when the contract is signed. Bank Rakyat offer two types of vehicle financing, which is Naqlu 1 and Naqlu 2. This is the difference between these two products. In Sharia concept, Naqlu 1 using contract al-ijarah summa al-bay', which is ITAB. ITAB consists of two Sharia contract. The main one ijarah, which is rental, and bay', which is sell and purchase. Once the application is approved, the bank and the customer will enter into ijarah contract, where the bank will rent the vehicle to customers on the amount and period already set. At the same time, customers promise to buy a vehicle based on the concept of wa'ad, which is promise upon expiration of the rent period, early settlement, or the occurrence of a default by the customer. In the event of any of the above situation, transfer of ownership of the vehicle from the bank to the customer will take effect through execution a sale and purchase contract between the two or delivery of notice to the customer. The sale and purchase price to be paid by the customer to the bank will be specified in the contract sales or notice sent to the customer. Different between Naqlu 2, because Naqlu 2 using a contract of Tawarruq. In Naqlu 1, maximum margin 90% of selling price, while in Naqlu 2, maximum margin up to 100 of selling price or invoice. Qualification of age in Naqlu 1, age between 18 until 65 years, while Naqlu 2, qualification of age is not less than 18 until 60 years old and not exceeding retirement age. The table 2, we can see the profit rate that charged by the bank in national or local vehicle and for non-national vehicle. For example, in national vehicle, amount of refinance is 30,000 until 50,000. The rate charged in Naqlu 1 is 2.99%, and Naqlu 2 rate being charged is 3.50%.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zulfa binti Zulkifli. So next, let's continue our discussion with the concept of Naqlu Tawarruq vehicle financing. So the concept adopted in this Naqlu payment facility is under the principle of murabaha, which is it is applicable to the Tawarruq policy. The concept in this murabaha is a form of sale and purchase that require the seller to provide information on the cost incurred to obtain the purchase price along with the additional profit set in the form of selling price to the buyer. While murabaha commodities that involve commodities asset, that is the involvement of broker or wakalah such as tawarruq. Okay, next. Tawarruq refer to a commodity or asset transaction based on deferred payment, where murabaha the cost price of the asset plus profit margin, or musawamah, which is involve a sale that does not disclose the cost price of the asset and profit margin from the seller to the buyer, and then the commodity or asset is sold for cash to a third party, which is other the original seller in cash. Our last discussion on this topic is about possible improvement or suggestion that can be made in the vehicle financing system in Malaysia. Okay, the first suggestion is that the government should issue an act that require all vehicle salesmen or dealer to use their vehicle hire purchase financing in an Islamic manner, and this is reserved for Muslim, of course. However, if there are non-Muslim who are interested in this method, it is highly encouraged. We are all well aware that conventional financing adopt a system of riba, which is blatantly forbidden, and it is obligatory for Muslim to fight it outright. This is the best move, as many financial institutions now offer Islamic financing service for vehicle hire purchase. In addition, as a consumer who comes also need to take a wise initiative by boycotting or looking for other seller or distributor if there are still some stubborn to offer a conventional system. Financial institutions also need to show their support for the Islamic system by working with the Muslim customer to facilitate their refinancing of their vehicle to full Islamic financing, or do it automatically, although it is difficult to do because it is subject to term and condition. Only in this way we can eliminate the usury system little by little in our life. Hence, to ensure that the financing provided is in line with Sharia, several Sharia principles have been used as the basic contract for Islamic financing, such as Bai'at Tawarruq, Bai' Bitaman Bi'ajil, Bai' al-Murabaha, and so on. In addition to the sale and purchase agreement, there is also financing created based on partnership based on the principle of al-Arbaha and al-Musyarakah. Therefore, for this product, we suggest that it refer to other product concept as a reference. The next is to propose the expansion and coordination of the Tawarruq financing application. Until the study is done, we find that there are still no specific guidelines for the implementation of Tawarruq based financing from the Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) as the most authoritative body in the supervision of Islamic banking practice in Malaysia. Such guidelines are particularly important in encouraging Islamic financial institution (IFI) to implement a tawarruq, especially for institutions that still practice the controversial Bai' al-Inah. These guidelines will be an impetus to IFI to remain vigilant in practicing a tawarruq, while for products that violate the guidelines, it is considered Sharia non-compliant. If these guidelines are issued, it is recommended that they be easily accessible to the public through internet access. This situation can also coordinate the implementation of Tawarruq. In addition to it can be used as a major reference at the international level in order to achieve the ambition of making this country as the world Islamic banking hub. The last recommendation is to notify the customer of about the condition of their commodities through a low-cost online system. Okay, this matter is very important because customers have the right to know about the time and period of their ownership of the commodity immediately after the bank sells it. This is important because in buying and selling, each transaction must be clear in the knowledge of the parties that involved. It is also important to allow the customer to appoint the bank as its representative to resell the commodity to third parties. This aspect future-proof that Tawarruq trading was not designed. Notification can be made through internet communication systems such as email and Facebook, as well as through smartphone communication such as WhatsApp, Viber, and so on. However, if the bank finds this facility less effective, the bank can or should try to make phone call to customer by charging a small charge, which is actually not too expensive, because this is important to meet the principle of Islamic muamalat, which should be given priority.